In the latest issue of the Florida Homesteader, we had the chance to feature Karen and Zach Carroll of Half Acre Wood in North Florida. Their homestead is centered around raising goats, baking sourdough, and living a slower, more intentional life. But like many homestead journeys, theirs started with a simple conversation and one that happened over lunch in a small deli. Today we're diving deeper into their story and learning how that moment helped spark the path that led them to homesteading. Well, hey Karen, this is exciting to have you on our show today. And hey to everyone who's with you. Why don't you give us a little intro to who is with you today?
Yeah, so we are all Half Acre Wood, the whole team. My name is Karen. This is my son,
Isaac.
Yeah, and Isaac is 12 years old. And then this is my husband.
Hey, I'm Zach.
Hey.
Yeah, we're all here and we're excited to be here.
So Half Acre Wood, all right?
Yes.
Is the name of your farm. We are honored to be able to feature your farm in our magazine. This is in the March-April issue of the Florida Homesteader. So those that have already subscribed, you're going to get to see all of the beautiful photos that you all are doing on your farm and also read the story. So we don't want to give all of the details away. You know, we want to leave a little bit of cliffhangers and everything. And I know we kind of go into a little bit of a description as to how you got to your farm, but that is so inspirational. What y'all have been through, where you were, where you are now, and what you're building. So can you share with us a little bit about what that journey looked like for you?
Yeah, absolutely. It really kind of started, I think it was 2022, around November. Zach was working as a paramedic. He's still a paramedic, but he does flight now, flight paramedicine. But he was a paramedic on the ambulance. They run 48-hour shifts, and they're just running calls the whole 48 hours. No sleep, nothing, full stress. And I was working as a paralegal in family law, which also has its own stresses. Yeah. One day we were actually able to go to lunch together, and we were sitting down in this deli and just talking and going, man, we kind of wish we could do something else. We'd like to quit our jobs. Like, what's something cool that we could go do? Just kind of dreaming. And Zach suddenly goes, I know a podcaster who quit his job, moved his family out to Fort Walton and started a goat farm. And I go, can you do that? Do people do that? Is he okay? He's fine doing that? And he goes, well, I don't know. So we sat there for the rest of that lunch looking up land prices. It was at Hopkins Eatery, which is a great place if you're ever in Tallahassee.
Right. I
Okay.
remember now.
Yes.
I remember that Subway.
It wasn't Subway. Subway fan. So, but yes. And so after that, because that was around November. So in December, I gave Zach a Goat for Dummies book for Christmas, like beginner goat information. And we kind of laughed about it because we were like, remember, we're going to quit our jobs and start a goat farm. But I was like, but hey, seriously, don't throw that book out because I'm going to read it. And he said, no, I actually want to read it too. So we started reading it at dinner time when we would finish and Isaac would kind of still just be eating. We'd be looking through this book and taking notes on like, what do you do for goats? How high do your fences need to be? What kind of shelters do they need? What does their nutrition look like? Stuff like that. Then we realized in Tallahassee, there's a place called Goat House Farm, which is a goat education facility, and they do the 4-H programs out there. She also is an Airbnb, so she has guests come, and you could just go and visit the herd, or you can take classes with her, and she will teach you how to care for goats. Mm-hmm. So we said, well, let's go meet some goats, because we've never really been around goats. We just thought this sounded like such a cool idea, and we have no idea what we're talking about. So we went out there. And when we first walked into her pasture, I was telling Isaac, don't touch them. Don't go up to, I don't know. Are they going to kick? Are they going to bite? I don't know anything. Like, don't stay with me. And Melissa, who owns Goat House Farm in Tallahassee, she starts talking. She's telling us about them. She's telling us very social creatures. They live in this herd. And as she's talking, she had about 40 goats in this pasture. They all just start to come up to us. And they're just sniffing us and standing next to us. And she's petting all of them as she's talking. So we kind of tentatively start petting them. And she's telling us their names. She's calling out to them. She knows the names of every goat. They're coming when they're called. And we're like, these are like dogs. Like,
they're like dogs.
Here. Yeah, these goats are so friendly. And we're like, are all goats like this? And she says, goats, yeah, they tend to be really social. And, if they've been treated well, then yeah, they're really docile. So that was kind of the start of our adventure. Mm-hmm. And right at the end of that class, she goes, well, is Isaac interested in doing a dairy goat club? We meet every Sunday for the next 4 weeks. Were you interested?
Yes, I was very interested.
Yeah, very interested. So Isaac went back for the next 4 weeks. After that, she goes, well, Isaac can join the 4-H Dairy Goat Club if he wants to. What did you say?
I said, of course.
Of course. So he picked a goat. Who was your goat?
Angel.
Angel. Tell us
Aw.
about Angel.
She was enormous, and she was very beautiful, and she was quite plump.
Quite plump. She was 264 pounds. Big,
Oh.
big dairy goat, but she was so sweet. And Isaac decided to lease her and show her in the North Florida Fair. And it was a thing in the beginning. Angel had opinions
Oh, yeah.
about how she should be led around the pasture. She would sometimes just walk back towards the barn, and Isaac would have to use all his strength to turn that goat back around and bring her back the other way to keep practicing what they need to do in the show ring, lead them around.
Huh?
They set them up to have them stand square. And after a couple months of that, Angel actually started setting herself up for Isaac. So as soon as he would stop walking her around, she would put all her feet square and stand as she needs to in the show ring without him even touching her. So they just started to form a bond. And we were just so impressed watching this happen and like really falling in love with these animals. Isaac went to the North Florida Fair that year. He won all of his classes, did a great job.
Good job.
And then he came to us and said, guys, I really want to try rock climbing and I might not want to do the dairy goats anymore. And we were like, what? Like, well, then who are doing the dairy? That's what we're doing. And so I think it was mostly me in the end. And I just clutched onto this idea of the dairy goats. So we got him into rock climbing and that was great. But then it was the next year that I finally went, I can't work in an office anymore. That was the big thing. And I need to work outside. So I started going and working on my friend's farm, Blarney Farms in Lloyd, Florida. She's a dairy goat farm. She does mini Nubians. She also does Nubians now. She's just such a good teacher. And she's so detailed and specific and just like really knows her stuff. It was so great. Can explain everything to you. And I just learned so much working at her farm. I was there for 11 months and we finally went, wow, is it time? Is it time to buy our own farm? And it was just kind of a whole like downhill slope thing. We were like, well, let's see if we can buy the acre next door. Okay, that's a little expensive. Well, let's see if we can get a mortgage for a farm. Oh, we can. Okay. Well, let's just see what's out there. Before we knew it, we were in our realtor's car driving around looking at properties. So, and we found this place. So yeah, that's how we got here.
So you were in the Panhandle, correct?
Yes. So we were in Tallahassee when we started. We were on a half acre and it was surrounded by pine trees. So that's why we called ourselves Half Acre Wood. And that's really when I was working on my friend's farm, but I was trying to start like an urban farm on my own property and garden and sell at farmers markets from there. But we really realized those pine trees were all going to have to come down. That was going to be a major expense. Plus we wanted to do goats and we couldn't really have goats on our property. So that's when we started looking to actually get a farm.
So you started with one.
This is what Zach always says. How many do we have? Stop buying goats because it's so easy to collect. But now we have 13, which is not too bad. I think we're doing good.
It's not too bad. I think we have 8 or 9, but I've got one doe that's expecting, and she usually historically runs by twins. So
okay, twins is good. That's the
twins
perfect number.
Twins are good. Yes, they're so fun. So you primarily raise dairy goats.
Yes.
So, and where you are at, dairy goats are able to be shown in 4-H in the fairs and things to that effect, correct?
Yes. The standards, any breeds under the American Dairy Goat Association, yes. We do have several mini Nubian breeders around here, but the shows don't typically come down here. So it has to be the AGA breeds, the American Dairy Goat Association breeds. Those are the ones that typically can show in our area.
In our county, the kids are able to show the goats, but it's the poor goats, the meat goats, which is what we raise, and we are able to help kids. They use our goats in order to share. But the county next to us, they don't do goats at all, like nothing.
Oh, wow.
I told them, I said, y'all are missing out. You're missing out on opportunities for kids because they go from chickens, rabbits to steers. And it's like, that's having goats, in my opinion, is a great middle lane, you know?
Right.
But I also interviewed somebody in the Winter Park area of Orlando, and they do sheep. So
that's interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
So different parts of the state of Florida will allow you to do different types of things. There's so many levels of information went into goats. Whether it's the goats or the dairy goats or
the specific breeds
goats or all of the different things.
Yes, I know we have people ask us, "Oh, did you do the fainting goats?" And we're like, "No, we don't have those." But
So
yeah,
our goats, as a meat goat, gets pretty big. And the Weathers who are here, they're retired on our farm. I had somebody come up one time and they said, "Well, does he faint?" I'm looking at him. He's pushing that probably 180-pound. He's a big boy. He's
yes,
showmanship champ and all this. And I'm like, do you want him to faint on you? Because
I don't.
I'm good.
Good with him standing up.
That's not goat yoga for me. He's not.
Yeah, right. That's so funny.
I would need Zach to come and pick me up in the
That's right.
helicopter.
That's right. That's why we have him on staff, just in case. No.
It's good to have.
Yeah.
All right. So you shared about how you got started, where you are at right now. So
Yes.
Zach, I would love to hear your part on this because you, as the guy who was like, "Hey, I heard this podcast." 9 times out of 10, when I hear folks talk, it's usually the wife pushing the husband into, "Let's do this, yay!" I mean, that was my life, and my husband's like, "Whoa, no, what? No, I hate goats." Now he loves them. So this is a little different. Like you were the one that was like, "Hey," you introduced the idea.
Yeah. I don't know. I grew up on 80 acres in Jackson County and just homeschooled my whole life. Just grew up outside. We did a bunch of stuff farm wise, and I just loved it. It was a great childhood, and I wanted that for Isaac. And so I could tell, Karen's never been an office person. I mean, she did it for 10 years, which, good on her because she lasted a long time. But I could tell it was just killing her, and it sucked. My job, obviously, she mentioned is stressful, but I enjoy it. I love it. It's obviously why I still do it. But it was like, really focused on trying to get her out of the office and outside. She likes being outside. She likes getting dirty, and I've, again, I told her I had a great childhood and I loved it, and this would be a pretty cool idea if we could like make it work. In my mind, it was one of those things like this will probably never happen, right? It was really just a dream for us, like something to think about to make the everyday stress kind of feel less. But so that's kind of where it came about. I was like, let's just look into it. I think you would enjoy it. You could quit and just do the farm stuff. We could homeschool Isaac, and I could work a little extra, make ends meet. So that's kind of where it came from. I guess I started the spark. She really just kept it going. And she
ran with it.
Yeah, I definitely was a team effort, but I think she did the majority of it. I'm just the ideas man. She does all the work.
There's so many people who are, I was just talking with a guy who really does a lot of marketing. And one of the things, and he's wanting to do homesteading as well, more Central Florida area, St. Pete, Mayaca City kind of area. And one of the things that he made the comment is that there's so many people who are wanting to do essentially what we're doing. You buy the farm, you're out there, you're homesteading, you're able to quit your job. So that's the dream capacity of what this is, and being able to homestead 100% of your time in some way, shape, or form. What does that look like? We don't know. But it's not overnight.
Right.
So I think that is so important for people to understand that you may or may not be able to quit your job. Yeah. But that doesn't mean it shouldn't stop you from living your dream of having a homestead, of having, like Zach, you still keep your job. You love your job. You want to keep it. That's great. And you're still doing the homesteading living. Can you kind of talk a little bit about the time frame? Again, this wasn't overnight for y'all.
Right. Yeah. And it's still like new ideas and new things that we have aren't overnight. And I'm always having to tell myself, patience, it takes time, especially, for us, we really are trying to make the farm a business. Our biggest short-term goal right now is for the farm to support itself completely. And I would say we're there or almost there. Yeah, so we're doing good. And what's making it for us right now is our sourdoughs. So I've always loved to bake, and there's pictures of them in the article you'll see. Yeah, and sourdough is kind of a fluke for me. Breads in particular, I've always loved baking breads. I just love the yeast, the rise, the dough texture, like seeing it come out of the oven, like I don't know, it's just a surprise for me every time. And the smell, I know, and then you get to eat it. I mean, what's better than bread? So I've always loved baking breads, and when we were getting into everything, it was really when we were trying to get crops going, didn't have anything, and so I was like, well, what else can I offer for sale that that I can, make while I'm waiting for crops to come back in. And so I was like, well, sourdoughs are popular. Let me just try that. So started my own sourdough starter, failed several times, but finally got one going. Started making bread.
Wait, how long did it take you?
It wasn't too long, but it was probably a good 2 months. Like when you're getting a starter going, it's about 2 weeks before you're supposed to have like a fully active start. So like, it was get 2 weeks in and go, it's not, so let me just start over. Like I've done something wrong somewhere, so it was a learning process. So 2 months of just going, no, wrong. Okay, no, wrong. Let me try this recipe. Things like that.
Because I swear sourdough is my kryptonite to Superman.
You're not the only one.
A year, Karen. I have tried for a year to get sourdough. And I'm like,
dehydrated starter. I will send you some dehydrated starter.
Okay.
We started selling kits for the holidays, and we kind of discontinued them because it was a holiday thing. But no, I'll get some for you. And then I typed up a booklet on how to rehydrate it. Yeah. We'll get you going. It'll be okay.
Well, I switched, and I was like, So I am doing like a Amish white bread, and I do that for my husband, and he loves it. I just bought a bread proofer, and I'm so excited about it because I do a lot of front porch proofing. If it's a warm, sunny day, my bread's out on the front porch proofing, and it is gorgeous.
I bet. Yes.
Nothing proofs bread better than a hot, humid Florida day.
Well, you got to think, Florida, what are we running inside? The air conditioning.
Yeah.
So right now, my sandwich loaves are on a minimum 16-hour proof. And I think it's just the air conditioning. They're taking longer to proof. So that makes a lot of sense.
On your front porch, it'll change.
Yeah, right. Sun-kissed proving. I love that.
I love
it.
Front porch proofing. So I'm sorry.
Okay.
So keep going. Bread loaves.
So I started making sandwich loaves, and I made them for a while. So when those started coming out consistently, started selling those. I tried rustic loaves, the artisan loaves, the round loaves, and just failed miserably for so long. Or I would get a good one, but then I'd have 3 bad ones. They really inconsistent. And so I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing different for each of these. So and it was a process, and I gave up on them for a long time. I said, never mind. I'm good at the sandwich loaves. I know how to do those. I'll just stick with those. I think I started working on cookies then. I was like, let me go on to sourdough chocolate chip cookies. I'll go on to something else. And then I finally looped back around to the rustic loaves, and I had somehow gained the skill somewhere. I don't know from where, but they started coming out consistently. So I went, I think I can start listing these for sale now because I actually am able to make them, and they're the same. They come out the same. So it took a good 9 months for me, and I was selling during that, but I was only selling breads that I knew would come out the way I needed them to every time, but it took 9 months for me to go, okay, now I'm like full confidence. I know what I'm doing. I know where I can cheat a little bit on proving times. I know what needs longer proving time. I know when I can up the hydration a little bit because things aren't proving, taste, flavor, texture. I know how to change that. So it was a long process. And as we started to get better at it, we're able to sell more, and then we're able to start supporting the farm with it. But it wasn't overnight. And it's a lot of time and commitment in the kitchen. Yeah. Wednesdays and Fridays, from 8 a.m. to all day. Yeah, like I go to bed typically between 11 and midnight on those days. And I get a little break in the middle of the day, and I run out and do like farm chores, or we do a little something together, whatever. And then I'm back in the kitchen baking again, and it's hard work. It's not just, well, let's do sourdoughs and all of a sudden we're supporting our farm. No, it was time, practice, effort. And now still it's those baking days. It's a commitment. Now I'm in the kitchen dancing and singing. Zach will tell you I'm very noisy on baking days. I enjoy it because I like baking. It's hard work and I'm on my feet all day.
I heard somebody who was talking about bread making, and she said, throw out your recipe. Because she said, don't go by the book when you're doing your bread recipe, because she said your flour weight versus the measured flour, it might be different. The type of flour that you're using, the type of, and you mentioned it, you said some days you may have to adjust the liquid, based on what's going on in the weather.
Feel of it. Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know why it feels like this, but it's not correct. So I have to make little adjustments. Yeah. Yep. And the cookies are like that too.
Yes.
And it'll depend on the time of the sourdough discard. If it still has a little bit of poof and I'm using it to make cookies, I better make sure I got a little less flour in there. Otherwise, they're just going to be little rocks, So yeah, it is. You do have to adjust.
You have to adjust. And I thought, you know what, that's the best, I think, information that you can share with anybody.
Yes.
Is that sometimes you just have to
Yep.
don't go by the book all the time. Go by what you know.
Right. And it's skill, and even your failures, those give you the skills that you need to prevent your failures later on. So it's always like you're always learning. And I really try to remember that. I have a silly TikTok posted about how I burnt 6 loaves, 6 white loaves, and I had to remake them for a market I was doing. But it's like, I don't even remember what happened that time. But it's learning, it's paying attention. Why did I make that mistake? How can I fix it in the future? We were even just talking earlier because we're in 2 farmers markets right now, and one of them has dropped. Like, for some reason, we're like earning $100 less than we were on that market versus just several weeks ago. So we're like, okay, well, what do we do? So we're starting to look into our own county. Can we set up a little tent outside Tractor Supply and sell some breads there, to make sure we're keeping the income up? You're constantly, I always say, get ready to pivot. And it's with any business, right?
Oh, it is.
Get ready to pivot. Something's going wrong. Okay, what can I do to keep going? What are people looking for? What's selling, what's not selling? What am I missing? What are other people not doing that maybe I could do? We're constantly having to reevaluate and figure out what do we need to do to make it work? Because, when we have a low market week, the goats don't stop eating. Like, we still need to feed them.
They're very demanding. They're very picky.
They're very demanding. Ours seem in particular very demanding. Yes.
Ours, it's like, I feel like, and I tell this to my husband all the time. So we have miniature donkeys that are with our goats. I swear every one of them has a wristwatch on. And like, they know. They know when it's time.
Yes.
And this time change, I heard somebody tell me yesterday, they said, oh my gosh, I got 6 kids and this time change is just killing us because of the kids. I'm like, have you dealt with goats and donkeys?
The goats don't understand the time change.
You have no idea until you've dealt with goats and donkeys on a time change.
Yes. I kind of refuse. Just don't even bother.
Yeah.
They'll get there eventually. Yeah, I didn't even bother the first day. I was just an hour late for everything because I was just like, I wasn't ready. And they say it's for farmers. I don't know if the time change is for farmers. We farmers have all voted. We're good not doing it.
Good.
Yeah.
Leave it where it's at now.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Just leave it
fine.
where it's at now. I'm fine. It's okay.
Right.
We're fine. Everything's fine. It's just fine. Okay, so the goats is it a form of a money stream for your farm? Because are you raising them, you're selling them, and on top of the bread, because it's not just the bread that you're doing, right?
Right. And we do want to get back into crops. We seem to be attempting every season, and then something goes wrong, and we don't have the crops that we want. So we will be trying again this spring/summer. But yeah, we are trying to turn the goats into revenue. We have the milk. We do make cheese. In the state of Florida, you can only sell it for pet consumption only. Right. So everything's labeled pet consumption only. We can't tell anybody to drink it, all of that. So right now we had milk coming out of our ears and didn't really know what to do with it. So we're actually partnering with the Leon County Humane Society in Tallahassee. We committed to 2 months. We're donating 3 gallons a week because they're in the midst of puppy and kitten season right now. So we were like,
no.
Yeah, it's perfect for them because it's easy on the stomachs. And actually they have an adult who's having like digestive issues. And they said it's really been helping the adult dog that's going through that. And so yeah, that's been going really great. And it's awesome too, because they were really interested in our goats. And so I said, oh, I'll bring a goat to you. Our goats, they're such babies, and they're
Ours are
not, we run a legitimate farm, but yeah, we do treat them like we love them.
Ours are in our laps.
Yes. Yeah. You understand.
Yeah. I do. I totally get it.
Yes. And so I brought a goat out there last week when I was dropping off the milk, and they were so excited. And it's great because they're a nonprofit and they do all this rescue. So I was telling the manager, like, anytime, if you need goats for an event, please let us know. So yeah, we're trying to see, can we actually sell it instead of donating it? I'm going to think I go to more rescues. Sometimes they get grants for this particular thing, orphan babies, and they want to use the goat milk for it. The cheese, you can also do like dog bakeries, dog boutiques. They tend to use the cheese. We use it for our livestock guardian dog because he's such a picky eater. And it's really great because of the fat. Is the fat of the milk. And so we can kind of isolate that and put it on his, food because he doesn't want his kibbles. Zach always says, give him his toppings. He wants the goat cheese and the eggs on his.
He's just a baby.
Yeah. So trying to find the market for that. And then of course, goat milk soaps. Now we have not started back up with our goat milk soaps yet, just for time purposes, but I do have it frozen, ready to make the soaps. So that's kind of the revenue for that. We will sell kits. We do the show Nubians, so we'll be able to charge, for the kids the appropriate price for them. But we are we just want them to go to good homes, and so sometimes we fudge the prices down a little bit for people that we know, and and also there's we know like Taylor County, I think it's their 4-H or their FFA program is looking for doelings. Yeah, because they just went through a couple tragedies and lost some of their goats, and so most likely we'll be donating a doeling to them. Yeah, they went through several things. So, but it's also, and this is a big thing with farming. Farming is also about supporting your community, and you put into your community, and your community really does give back to you, and so. Yes, we are trying to monetize it and we're trying to bring the income streams in from them. But if we're not able to do that immediately, again, it takes time, it takes building up your business, it takes people knowing you. Until we're able to do that, we're trying to put, the milk, the goats, to good use so that, we're bringing smiles to people's faces. We're helping other animals that need it. So yeah. And I think that's big in the farming community, which is different from your office jobs, where things are very competitive and it's who can get on top faster. I have found at least all the farmers in my community are very much let's help each other.
Or cooperative than competitive.
Cooperative, not competitive. Yeah, that's what we do.
I like that. Cooperative, not competitive.
Yeah.
One of the things that we say, and this is a hill I will die on, give it a try, see what you can do. But if you can't do it, then support a farmer who can.
I love that. Yes. Yeah. And we really do try to partner, especially, I'm going off screen, especially with people who we meet and we go, oh, like our values are really similar here. We really get along. So we have Serenity Acres in Greenville as another goat farm. And then we were kind of the newbies. We came in and they've been so sweet to us. Plus they're so fun to be around. They have a great soap business going, really high quality products. Yes. And they've streamlined everything. She just last week was like, do you need these soap molds? Because I don't use these ones specifically anymore. And she gave us a cutter and 10 soap molds of the big ones, which are extremely expensive. She just said, here you go. You take these. And then she lets us borrow her trailer to go to shows. Yeah. I go over and do their goats' hooves. I like trimming hooves anyway because I'm weird like that. So
be down in my area anytime soon because
yes, if I am, absolutely, because and it's just, we're trading off those services because we're trying to support each other, and we both understand what the other one's going through. Like we're up early, we're up late, trying to make everything work. I love that. Support a farmer who can do it. If you're
absolutely support somebody who can. One of the things that we're hearing in the industry even is that a lot of effort is probably there's like a shift of mindset of folks that are looking at anything from big commercial down to saying, well, what it might be more emphasis on the smaller farmers that are going to help make things successful in the future. And we need to start paying attention to what these small farmers. And when I say small farmers, I mean 20 acres or less. I'm talking small farmers, homesteaders. This might be what helps flip the switch. So
that's cool.
We'll see. Yeah.
Like it is kind of like a focus on smaller communities, right? Like I feel like smaller communities, when you know each other, you're better able to meet each other's needs and take care of each other's.
Hey y'all, we're going to take a really quick break just to recognize one of our partners. Now, whether you're planting roots or planning what's next, having that right financial partner really makes a difference. And if you're looking to open a new free checking account, you want to build your savings, buy that dream car, or invest in a home or property? Well, Mid-Florida Credit Union is here to help. With local branches, personalized service, and a commitment to the communities that they serve, Mid-Florida makes banking simple and approachable for every season of life. Learn more or get started today at midflorida.com. Mid-Florida Credit Union, Florida's community credit union. Now back to our show.
So yeah, and that's why these 4-H programs are so important too, like getting these kids back into agriculture, or at least teaching them the skills. They decide they want to do something else, like rock climbing. Okay, absolutely fine. But
Go.
it's,
Yeah.
yeah, go do it. I definitely, I want my son to explore everything, but I
Right.
want him to have those agricultural skills too, because I
Yes.
think they're important. They're important wherever you are and whatever you're doing.
I had the opportunity to talk with Dr. Chris DeCoupulis, and he is one of the main 4-H guys in the state of Florida with IFAS and all. And he grew up 4-H, and now he's working with 4-H, and he's teaching other kids about 4-H. And I don't think, and I shared this with him in our podcast chat, I don't think people understand the amount of business opportunity that is available in, one, the ag world alone,
Right.
Yeah.
and two, 4-H. What you get out of those programs as a child, between being a leader, being a business person, the networking, the community involvement, the community support. I don't think it's not just about showing chickens and bunnies, and it
Yeah.
is much bigger.
And it teaches responsibility, like and it's long-term responsibility.
Yeah.
That's a big thing, with these screens and these short videos and stuff. The
think a lot of
attention
folks-
spans are low.
People don't realize 4-H is not just, like you said, just chickens, goats, pigs,
Yeah.
shows. I was in 4-H for a long time growing up, and I did leadership classes. I did public speaking, like just all these random stuff, like mock politics stuff and government civic stuff, and and then also I showed chickens too. So it's like it was cool. It's a great program. We love it.
It is.
Yeah. Well, and like Isaac, so he's got his 4-H dairy goat meeting next week, and he did really well in his record book when he showed a few years ago. So he's putting together a packet which basically has sample sheets of what you can put in your goat record book. Just
Nice.
for people who don't know, this is
Yeah.
class at a show where you can submit a
Yeah.
record book that details all this care that you've done for your goat up until show, so that the judges can take a look at it and see. And you have all this information organized. You have their growth, you have their weights in it, you have an analysis of what food would cost and your equipment costs, and a story about your goat and pictures, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, he's putting together this packet, and then he's going to do a little presentation for the kids on, this is what I did for my record book, and this is kind of what the judges seem to like, and this is information to include. So again, that's leadership. That is public
Leadership.
speaking, that's project management. So yeah,
That's
important.
vision.
It's vision,
That's
right?
vision. He sees a vision. He sees a need. And
Yes.
he's going out there using his own skills in order to help meet that need, to help somebody else. That's mentorship. That's
Yes,
You know?
huge, right? And it's stuff that you don't get in the public schools.
Yeah.
And it's, if you can find it somewhere else, I mean, do it. And
Take
4-H is great for that. Yeah.
absolutely.
And
So
if it-
what's next? Like, Zach, do you got a big project on the loom? I mean, like, I feel like there's
I don't know. Just I do whatever she tells me to do.
good answer.
project manager. Very good answer.
I sit on the ideas, man, but that's now gone.
He was the first ideas man, and then
I
said, I can have a farm? Really?
Yeah.
Took running with it.
just grunt work now.
Oh.
No, I'm
But
kidding.
you never underestimate the value of the grunt work.
That's right. That's
That's
right.
true.
That is huge.
Yes,
You
absolutely.
got somebody who knows what they're doing, you've got a honey pot right there. You
That's
do.
what you want.
So, y'all, you mentioned crops. What kind of crops were you venturing in?
The crops.
Right. And so when he's working too, and it's just me doing things, and we homeschool Isaac, and so like getting everything together sometimes is hard. Yeah. So, but this winter we tried collards, we tried mustards, we tried Brussels sprouts, broccoli, carrots, which I can pull out the carrots.
They're like this big.
Yeah, they're very tiny. The carrots. The radishes, we did get radishes.
Wait until you see the March, April issue, because we have a homestead test kitchen director, and she
cool.
pulls all of these recipes together and everything. Well, one of them was a carrot salad. Well, we needed, when we were doing our photo shoot, we needed carrots. Well, we've got carrots in our garden. They were
Yeah.
3 to 4 inches long. They were like crisscrossed and the roots were everywhere. But they were so sticky cute. I'm like, nope, we're using them. So
I
you
love
see
that.
those carrots, they're from my garden, and they're
looking.
not your commercial pretty carrots, y'all.
No, I know. And with carrots, you really have to thin them. So you can
Yeah.
plant a nice little row, but you got to go out there and thin them so
You
they
gotta
have
thin
the room
'em.
to grow. And they're so delicate. Like if anything gets in their way, you get the bends and the twists and whatever.
You
So
do.
anyway,
Well,
but yeah,
there was
we
a
didn't
lot
get
in
out
their
there.
way because they were
Yeah, there was a lot in their way. They didn't make it. But yeah, and honestly, we were doing pretty good until the frosts hit. So North Florida, we now get frosts. Like you cannot deny it, and we get snow now apparently.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you are now our ski locations.
yeah, maybe not quite, but we feel like that when it snows. We're like, oh, what now? The sky's falling.
It's
So
amazing.
yeah, but so we were having to cover the crops every night and then uncover them every morning, and we don't have the proper equipment for it. We just have long frost covers. We really need a big sheet with things to weigh it down. We were just using scrap pieces of wood, and then the wind would blow and it would
Everything was going everywhere. Yeah.
blow it across the yard. And so we finally went, okay, we do not have the proper infrastructure to grow winter crops right now. We're going to let the garden go. We're going to start again in spring. So, and of course, we haven't planted our.
We have friends, like we were talking about being cooperative. We have friends with tractors and equipment that can help us out and come and
Yes.
and
Love that.
more know-how than we do. I feel like when it comes to that stuff, we're livestock folks. When it comes to green thumb, I'm not. At least I'm not. She's probably more than I am, but
Yeah.
I can't grow nothing.
But I can only spread myself so far. That was it. So like I took the time. I took the urban farming entrepreneur class through the Tallahassee State College and Wakulla Environmental Institute. That was really cool. If you're trying to get into homesteading and have the opportunity to take a farming class,
Yes.
first of all, network, find other farmers to help support you and learn from them. Absolutely 100%. So I feel like I have the know-how, but it's getting the time as well. And a lot of the time when I'm out in the garden, I'm kind of dropping something else to make time for it. So I'm having to, it's a scheduling thing too. I have to figure out when can we get out there? What do we need to do for it?
Were you doing crops for yourself, or were you doing it as an intention for the farmer's market?
Yeah, it's both, but I definitely wanted the excess to sell at the farmer's market. And so we actually started with crops when I was working at my friend's farm, Blarney Farms. I had 1/10 of an acre on her property that I was planting crops on. And this is while I was taking my class and everything. And I feel like my collards did great. My mustards did great. I had radishes coming up. Yeah. And then we decided to move and then trying to get into our property, and we don't have a tiller. Our neighbor, we finally asked our neighbor, oh, do you think you could bring your tiller over here and till it for us? Because I was out there with a shovel and just like trying to break up the pasture.
Trying to break it up. Yeah.
And I got okra to grow.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Took me a long time and a lot of work. And then the goat numbers grew, and then we had, mama goat. Now we have milkers, and we have kids. So things picked up, and I haven't really been able to get back out there. But yeah, we do want to be also a crop farm.
Even if it's small scale.
Even if it's smaller scale, I don't mind if the sourdoughs are the superstar. That's fine. I love making them, but we'd like to have kind of a little bit of everything. But my next goal, because you had asked, where's the farm going? But so first goal, I want the farm to support itself, and we're there, almost there. Second, I want Zach to be able, if he wanted to, I know he loves his job, but I want him to be able to quit and come work on the farm if and whenever he wants to.
I'd honestly like to work part-time. That would be cool. Like once a week, go fly around and have fun, but not have to rely on it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like that's everybody's dream, right? To not have to rely on a job. Having to be somewhere is not what we as humans like to do. We like to do what we want to do. So it'd be cool to have this as a part-time gig, but I like that goal.
And that's what we had talked about originally when we sat in that deli. It would be really cool to just be on a farm and just working our farm and stuff. And so, like Zach said, he loves the medical field. And so he's not trying to leave it. But I would love for him to have that. And so we've looked into doing meat goats. And we kind of, maybe we have to have a chat with you, because we were like, we don't know how we can actually monetize that and make it work. with
Yeah.
the amount that we would have, because we're
Right.
only on 9 acres. If you got more acreage and you have, the browse to support the goats, or you got pasture to support cows, you're more set up for it. But we don't have that for the
We're
number.
you're on 9 acres.
We're on 9, yeah.
We're sitting on 8.
Okay, yeah.
Very similar in size.
Do you sell your boar goats,
Mhm.
or do you process your boar goats? That's my next
No,
question.
we do not process them. I am, and all the goat people are going to say, I'm not a fan of goat meat.
Okay, and that's okay. No.
Well, so
That's
I'm
just
not.
me.
I'm not a fan of goat milk, and we run a dairy farm.
Okay, so
I have one specific goat that he will drink the milk from, and I have to separate her milk from everyone else's
I get
milk
my
for
own.
him.
I get my own little jar.
He gets
You
his
get your
own
own
jar.
we were my husband specifically, like he would, and I know this is going to sound so horrible. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't say it. To him, goat milk always had a musky kind of taste to it.
Thank you.
And
I think I call it a tang. It's not a
yeah,
No,
he would
it's
have.
a musk.
It's must.
He would actually say it kind of tasted as if the goat backed up and peed in a bucket, but
I just feel like it tastes like the bucks smell to me.
yes. But you know what I found is if you drink it as soon as you milk them, it does not have that taste.
Yeah, we also found we cool it down, the faster you can cool it down.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it.
That
So
does
we go through a whole process. So we milk them, and then we filter it into half-gallon jars and put it in the freezer, because you're trying to drop that temperature to 40 degrees or less as fast as possible. That's what preserves the taste, and that's what prevents bacteria growth too. And then obviously you got to keep it in the fridge. And obviously your equipment has to be clean too. I tend to milk by hand a lot because I don't want to clean the machine. It's an extra thing that I have to do. I'd rather just wash out the buckets and sanitize them. But anyway, but if you are using a machine, you've got it every time afterwards. You're running, soap and sanitizer through those tubes once a week at least. You're going through, breaking everything apart, and you're washing them by hand and sanitizing. It's a big deal. It is a huge process, but it's extremely important. And actually for our goat cheese too, we make our goat cheese. We use a culture. We use Florida culture, which doesn't have much of a taste, so we can kind of add our own flavors to it.
Yeah. I like the goat cheese.
But yeah, the goat cheese.
Like the goat cheese.
Like the goat cheese.
Yeah, I do.
kind of have an
It's just the milk,
obsession with goat
and we'll tell you kind of a funny story. Like when we first started getting into goats, we went to Goat House Farm in Tallahassee. Melissa has like every breed under the sun on
That's
that
not true.
farm. She's got a lot of breeds, and we love Melissa to death. She's the sweetest lady in the world, and she's got a heart of gold. But she was really nice because she would let us kind of bring home samples from each different breed, and so we kind of narrowed it down. Like, okay, what's our favorite milk from the favorite breed or whatever, right? Yeah, and so that's kind of how we landed on Nubians. They
plus the floppy ears.
right, yeah,
Oh,
big
I know.
floppy ears.
I'm looking at your pictures and I'm like, oh my god, the floppy.
Yeah, they're really cute.
we have two coon hounds too, so we
they got the floppy ears.
We love floppy ears, right? But yeah, so that's kind of how we landed. And a Nubian goat milk has the second highest butterfat content, so we're kind of thinking maybe it has something to do with that. But I felt like for me, Karen used me as kind of the barometer to see like what is the best milk, because I'm so picky with milk, which is weird. I'm not picky with anything else. I'll eat anything. I like goat meat. Like, it doesn't bother me. Just the milk, for whatever reason, I don't know. But Nubian's the best, I think.
Yeah,
but there's so many
biased.
variables with milk that we found, like their diet, the weather, there's so much stuff that can come into play. Some weeks of milk's like, I'm like, oh, this is incredible. Tastes like, heavy cream. And then the next milk, a couple weeks later, I'm like, that's kind of tastes funky.
You're
So
like, what did they eat?
yeah, it's weird. There's a lot of variables that I think that you can't control, which is in a way kind of cool, because you go to the store and you buy milk, it tastes the same every single time, and it's like, is this real?
Yeah. So you mentioned the cream content. Have you tried doing goat milk butter?
So that's not really a thing. You don't
Okay.
get the thick layer of cream on top like you do with cow's milk.
Okay. Okay.
No.
So you can't do goat milk butter. Okay.
So Melissa actually was the one who tried, and she said after a full milking season, she has just such a tiny amount of butter. And she was like, it was good, but it definitely wasn't worth it.
It wasn't worth. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
And
good
in
to know.
goat milk, the fat particles are smaller than in cow's milk. So you don't.
Salt easier.
Right, yeah. So that's why it's easier to digest. It actually has a tiny bit more lactose than cow's milk, but some people have an easier time digesting goat's milk because the fat particles are smaller. And so, that's why it's good for dogs' stomachs who have digestive problems, good for puppies, kittens, orphan animals, all of that because of.
Humans, if you want to pretend you're a pet, I mean, it's.
I mean, you know,
It's
follow the law, but
I have heard that though. I have heard that even kids that have had issues with lactose and things like that, that parents, I've heard physicians tell parents, go get goat milk.
yeah,
Go get it because it does have that human component to it. So yes, I agree. It's there.
yeah,
It's real. It's out there.
yes, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, you've got a lot going on. If you are in the Panhandle and or folks that are listening that are in the Panhandle and they want to get some of your delicious sourdough bread, I'm looking at this. You got a jalapeno loaf,
That's my favorite. The jalapeno cheddar. Yeah.
My favorite too.
jalapeno
Yeah.
cheddar. I'm looking at that right now and I'm like, dang girl. So if folks wanted to connect with you, you said you're at a couple different markets. Do you mind sharing what markets you were at so folks can go to you to get your sourdough
Yeah,
bread?
absolutely. So the big in-person one is the Johnston's Farmers Market. It's in Monticello at the Johnston's Market, which is off of Washington Street. It's every Saturday from 10 to 1.
Okay.
So that's our biggest in-person one. The other one is actually an online market. It's called the Red Hills Online Farmers Market. They serve all of the Big Bend area. 'Cause I'm pretty sure they go to Monticello too. Yeah, but they're based in Tallahassee, and what you do is you become a member of the market, and then you can order each week. And on Thursday, all of the producers that you ordered from or other people have ordered from come. They drop their goods off at their central hub in Tallahassee, and then Red Hills Farmers Market has delivery drivers who take it out to all their customers.
Very
So
nice.
yeah, so we're on there as well.
Yeah.
And then like I said, we're
Also Facebook.
oh yeah, and then just direct orders on Facebook as well. We do that as well. And Facebook, we're on Instagram. We're just most active on Facebook.
Yeah.
And then
I
of
would say
course
that's-
calls, emails.
It's the quickest way and the best way to get a hold of us. If you want special order something, Facebook, and then message us, whatever, text us, email us,
Yeah.
call us, and then
What is your name on Facebook so folks can know that?
Half Acre Wood LLC, and
Okay.
our symbol is we call him a serious frog, and he's easy to spot.
We will put that information in the show notes so folks can be
Thank
able to
you.
click on that and go straight to your site too.
cool.
That'd be great.
Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, we appreciate that.
Absolutely. So before we close, any little parting words of encouragement or anything that you want to share before we end our
Yeah,
time?
well, just for homesteaders at heart who are still trying to figure out can they do it, you absolutely can do it. It is very hard work, and it may not turn out to be exactly what you think it is. It may not look like what you think it is, but you can do it, and you just have to start, be patient, keep going, don't get discouraged. And yeah, basically every morning I wake up and I go, all right, this is what I have to do today. I'm going to make it happen.
Yeah.
So you just make it happen.
Yeah. And for Zach, for all the guys that are listening that
Let your wife buy all the goats she wants. That's the advice.
It's definitely not mine. No, it is. Yeah, just I just second what Karen had said.
Yeah.
It's hard work. Don't expect it to be easy. There are no days off. If you're a dad who works and your wife stays at home, you are sacrificing your days off. Like I don't have any more.
Yeah.
Every day I come off, I could be up all night long at work. I come home, we got to do stuff. So
We gotta
it's
fix fences.
so
We
it's,
gotta milk the babies.
but it is rewarding. That's my thing. We're all much happier now that we've moved out here.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's worth it.
It is. Yeah, I agree. It is definitely worth it. Well, thank you so much for being on the call with us. We are excited to share your story. We're excited for folks to get the magazine and they can see it. Again, this is the Florida Homesteader magazine, the March-April issue. Y'all are the first story in there, so they're going to see it. And
oh, how exciting.
but I just appreciate you. I can't wait. We got to stay in contact. I want to keep up with what you're doing and see how you're continuing to grow. I think you're onto something. It's fun to see.
Oh,
we
thank
can
you.
reach out to you about meat goats too.
Yeah.
Pick your
give-
brain a little bit. About
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep.
Thank you, Jamie.
All
We
right.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Zach and Karen for sharing the story behind Half Acre Wood. If you'd like to learn more about their journey raising those goats, baking that sourdough, and building their homestead in North Florida, be sure to check out their feature in the latest issue of the Florida Homesteader magazine. You can also check out the show notes below to find them on Facebook. Thank you so much for listening as we continue highlighting the stories, skills, and traditions that keep homesteading and agriculture strong across our state. Until next time, keep growing, keep preserving, and keep that Florida homesteading spirit alive. Y'all come back now.